And your little dog, too.
Donald Trump in office on trade policy, you know, he reminds me of that guy in The Wizard of Oz, you know, when you pull back the curtain, it's a really small dude.
Back where I come from, there are men who do nothing all day but good deeds. They are called good deed doers.
Well, they're back. While Americans toiled, the lunch club known as Congress decided to return after their extravagant 5+ week vacation. All in all, it was a vacation for the American people because we all got a break from the madness of our elected leaders.
The resolution before us represents the necessary next step in our investigation of corruption, obstruction, and abuse of power.
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
Do? Why, if I had a brain, I could...
Though Jerry the Needler Nadler got in early, throwing the word impeachment around like an evil munchkin on a power trip.
Can't you read? Read what? The notice!
What notice?
It's on the door, as plain as the nose on my face.
Nadler would have us all believe that he is hot on President Trump's trail after one failed investigation after another, costing the taxpayers millions.
Why don't we start with the Inspector General, not just any Inspector General, the Inspector General for the Justice Department, which we have jurisdiction over, just issued a report 2 weeks ago, scathing report on the guy who's most responsible for this 3-year saga that our country has had to live through, Jim Comey. Jim Comey, the guy who opened the investigation in July of 2016. Jim Comey, the guy who allowed Peter Strzok to run that investigation after that guy had ran the Clinton investigation, after that guy had said to Lisa Page, another FBI employee, "Don't worry, Lisa, we'll stop Trump." Jim Comey, the guy who allowed the dossier to go to the secret court to be used to spy on a fellow American associated with the Trump campaign. Jim Comey, who leaked information to the New York Times through his friends so we would get the special counsel. Jim Comey, the guy who on January 6th goes to Trump Tower trying to trap the president while he's telling the president he's not under investigation. Scathing report by the Inspector General on that guy. And when I asked the chairman 2 days ago when he was busy taking away people's Second Amendment rights, when I asked him two days ago when we might have a chance to question the Inspector General, his response, the chairman of the judiciary's response was, "I don't know, we haven't thought about that." Maybe if you were a little less focused on taking people's Second Amendment rights and impeaching the guy they made president, we could actually do what this committee is supposed to do.
For the first time in U.S. history, a House committee is conducting an impeachment inquiry without the authorization from the House.
In the 206 years that this committee has sat, it has never conducted an impeachment proceeding without first being authorized to do so by a vote of the full House. And that's because the power of impeachment belongs to the whole House, and the whole House has not delegated that power to any of its committees. And if you want to know what an abuse of power truly looks like, it looks like what's unfolding right now.
Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi brought their crew in to demand someone pay attention to their bipartisan background checks bill known as H.R. 8. The bill would essentially eliminate private sales between gun owners. Nancy Pelosi described the bill without describing the bill.
H.R. 8, House Resolution 8, so named because it was 8 years from the time that Gabby Giffords meeting with her constituents in a grocery store was assaulted. People died. She survived. She's an inspiration to us all. H.R. 8.
For all of those with ears that want to actually know what is an H.R. 8, it reads, "This bill establishes new background check requirements for firearm transfers between private parties, i.e. unlicensed individuals." Specifically, it prohibits a firearm transfer between private parties unless a licensed gun dealer, manufacturer, or importer first takes possession of the firearm to conduct the background check. The Democrats have become a source of national anxiety for everyone involved, including their own party, engaging in the sabotage of the Second Amendment in favor of the UN Small Arms Treaty, which is aimed at disarming our sovereign nation.
So in the last administration, President Obama signed the UN Arms Trade Treaty.
It is Friday, September 13th, 2019. This is the Infowars.com War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. Look at this. I have fresh powder of Turbo Force in my cup here from InfoWarsStore.com. I didn't even stir it. What the hell is wrong with me? I am way behind schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, did you see what I saw last night on the Democrat debate stage? My goodness. My goodness. You'd say the headline for today's show is Democrats call for communist revolution and gun confiscation during debate night 3. You'd say, come on, Schroyer, that's a clickbait headline. They're not actually doing for that. Just calm down. No, that's undebatable. Anybody that watched the debates knows what the Democrats did last night, except Amy Klobuchar seemed to be the most centered one. And so, as I expected, she rose in the polls last night because, the average American doesn't want to hear about a communist revolution, doesn't want to see communist politicians, doesn't want to turn their guns in, doesn't want civil war, and doesn't want some drunk bimbo like Kamala Harris. I mean, she really appeared drunk last night. Or two theories on Kamala Harris last night. She was either drunk or she got coached up how to act and sound like Marianne Williamson, because Williamson was doing better in the polls than she was. And Kamala Harris was the big loser last night. Of course, it doesn't matter. This is a Democrat party that is going to pull out all the stops and just find a ticket that they think can beat Trump. And if that means Warren and Harris, which I think is what, I don't know. That's just what my instincts are telling me are the odds right now, is a Warren-Harris ticket. But only time will tell, because the Democrat Party is a dumpster fire. If the election in North Carolina the other night was a referendum, as the media said it was, they lost both of them. By the way, the Democrats spent so much money trying to get McCready in, and then he lost. It's kind of like what they did in Georgia. I think it was a record, actually. I think the Democrats spent a record in special elections to get McCready in. Guys, check my memory on that. And they still lost. And the media said referendum on Trump. And then the referendum was a victory for Trump. And then what they say, narrow victory really shows Trump's in trouble. No, this is a district in North Carolina the Democrats try to steal every year. North Carolina 9? Oh, yeah. It's kind of like how Judicial Watch just had 1.5 million illegal voters purged from the California voter registry. You didn't hear much about that, did you? But I'm already getting off base because I've got tons of guests coming up today. Mindy Robinson is going to be joining me at 3:30 from redwhitenephew.com, at iHeartMindy on Twitter, except she's banned. She dared called someone a bitch. How dare she? I think she called, does anybody know, who was it she called a bitch? Was it Kamala? Was it the almighty goddess Kamala Harris, descendant of slave owners? The Will and Grace actress Deborah Messing. Oh, so that's fun. So we'll make fun of Hollywood with Mindy Robinson. And then Katie Williams, former Miss Nebraska, who was stripped of her crown because of her politics. You guessed it, she likes Trump. So they went ahead and said, sorry, you're not allowed to be part of beauty pageants, kind of like what they did to Kathy Zhu, even though it was Trump that used to run them and made them famous and popular. But, you know, that's how it goes. Miss Nevada, excuse me, not Nebraska. My dyslexia is showing. And then Frank Kavanaugh is going to be with us in the final hour of today's broadcast, and maybe we'll squeeze in some calls with Frank, although he is having we're being told technical difficulties. So if he can't make it, we'll just open up the phone lines. Let me just do this before I get into this news that I can in the next segment, and then we get into the great guests. The crew is giving me a hard time because I was wearing polos earlier this week. Yeah, the crew's laughing. Yeah, go ahead, pump your fists. Real funny. Everybody have a laugh at the show host that was wearing polos and T-shirts. The truth of the matter is this. One, it's just I'm such the antithesis of mainstream news. That's why I never liked committing to the jacket and tie look, because I just want to be the total antithesis of television news. But really, that's not even it, because you do wear the jacket and tie to look good. Honestly, more than that, it's the fact that I'm most days literally doing prep work right until 2:50, 2:55. So like I have 5 minutes to just put some water in my hair, comb my beard, and hope I don't look like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And then I'm giving the cruise orders with like 10 minutes left before showtime, and I'm like crashing the system in here. So that's really what it is that we're just literally doing work, prep work, right up to 3 o'clock. There is not even an inch to give for me to put on a jacket and tie. But when the boss tells you, hey, you need to wear more jackets and ties, and then the crew pumps their fist when you say, I'm going to wear more jackets and ties, that means that you should probably wear more jackets and ties. But the point I'm making here is that we're totally committed to bringing you the most hardcore news broadcast that we can. And so sometimes I just don't really care to think about what I'm wearing. That's how committed we are to the news. And we take that same approach to InfoWarsStore.com, where we put out so many products now, we can't even, and we don't even properly market them. In fact, I'll be perfectly honest, as a guy that has a bit of a marketing mind and a creative mind, it kind of bothers me sometimes. For example, we've got, I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. Super Silver Skin Cream right here that we just came out with like 2 weeks ago. Now, most of the audience probably hasn't even heard of this because we should be talking about it every day. But what do? We roll out Super Silver Skin Cream, and then literally the next week, what do? We roll out Chill Force. And then we don't even have time to market either one of these great new products because we have the brand new Gut Health Pack that's 75% off. How many is it? 7? I think 7 different probiotic gut health formulas in one pack. The Total Gut Health Combo Pack with 7 different formulas and supplements, many of which I use, always have in my pantry. 75% off. You can't beat that deal. So it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, why don't I put on a suit and tie every day? Well, because at 3 o'clock, I'm finally ready to go on air. Why don't we market and tell the audience about Super Silver Skin Cream and Chill Force? Well, because we just came out with a brand new sale, 75% off all of the gut health products that we have at InfoWarsStore.com. But again, that's just our approach. It's kind of a Tasmanian devil approach around here. Just swing for the fences and knock it out of the park. So that's what we do with all the products. That's what we do with our live news coverage every day, which is supported by you going to InfoWarsStore.com. But support yourselves. Get the water filters. Get the air filters. Folks, don't drink the fluoridated water with the glyphosates and everything in it. Don't breathe in the air. Hey, look, I'm not proud to say that the average U.S. home, the air inside is as polluted as a major metropolitan area. That's not my study. Those are top research studies that we read and then give you a solution, the Alexa Pure Breeze air filter. Now, in this break, I'm going to take the official drink of InfoWarsStore.com and of the War Room Turbo Force, and when we're back, I'm going to pile drive through some of this news. Wow, we're already back from break? I didn't even have time to take my brain force yet. Better get on that. wasting time over here reading news, looking at a 20-year-old picture of Amy Klobuchar on Drudge Report. What's up with that anyway? It's like a 20-year-old picture there. By the way, I already knew this, but just upon reading it again, it blew my mind. It's one of those things where I have to have the crew look it up because I don't even believe it. It's kind of like John Tigar being from the UK. Joe Biden became the youngest elected senator in 1972 at the age of 27, which means that Joe Biden has literally been in government for almost 50 years. 50 years, this guy. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How is this guy in government for 50 years and why? How does he get filthy rich? But think about this. Because when I used to be in sports media, I was a real old school, I had a real old school approach to analyzing sports and talking sports. And most of the time, that ends up being the right approach. And so I'm thinking, if you're Joe Biden, how are you not the automatic nominee right now for the Democrat Party? Because on paper, you by far have the best resume. It's not even close. But what's Joe Biden's problem? You see, Joe Biden can't run on his resume. He can't get up there and run on his almost half a decade in government. Why? Because he has no record. There's no victories to speak of. Half a century. Thank you. Sorry, my dyslexia is real bad today. So here's Biden, been in government the longest, has the best resume, was the vice president, can't even run on his own resume because he has no list of accomplishments. And guess what else? People hate the government. So if Joe Biden starts saying, I've been in government for 40 years, people are going to be like, geez, what the hell have you done? Oh, but now Nancy Pelosi wants to be the Speaker of the House again. She'll be 80 years old. I think that's the oldest since Dennis Hastert, who used to eat the children. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is the Democrats, though. They just had their communist revolution debate last night. They took their mask off. They let you know who they were. So good. So, but the polls today still say, look at ABC News. 5 Democrat contenders lead Trump in head-to-head poll. Who believes that? But it doesn't matter. They just rig everything, folks. It's like how they keep Tulsi Gabbard off the stage, even though she was number 4 in any real polls. No, the Democrats don't want Tulsi Gabbard. But once again, InfoWars had it right. InfoWars made the odds last night. We told you that they would go after Biden as a sacrificial lamb. They did. Nobody expected them to straight up call for gun confiscation. That was a next level, but they went there. Klobuchar surges in the polls because she's not a gun-grabbing leftist lunatic communist. Yang goes to the top simply because he's kind of new, curious, trending, viral social media guy, so people are just have interest in him. Plus, he promised people $1,000 a month if he got elected, and then he promised people $1,000 a month, 10 to 10 families, which may or may not be illegal. But this is just some of the aftermath. The Democrat debate last night was beyond clown world. It was communist, civil war, revolution world. And so that's just the Democrat Party of 2019. Now, let me just go on with some of these other news stories before all my great guests come on, and we'll talk about the debate. We'll talk about Democrats calling for gun grabs, calling for open borders, trying to rig their election by keeping Tulsi Gabbard and Marianne Williamson off the stage, who you wonder if they'll ever wake up and realize who their real enemies are. Or if they wanted to make real political waves, they would just team up and run independently. But here's some of the other headlines we have from today. Harvard confirms it received $9 million from Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, that's right. Jeffrey Epstein and Harvard, Jeffrey Epstein and MIT. Where do the Epstein ties end? Where do they begin? Christine Blasey Ford. Do you remember Christine Blasey Ford? Christine Blasey Ford. It's like I won't get distracted just thinking about that whole thing. But Christine Blasey Ford's father supports Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation and has basically been talking to people how he thought that Blasey Ford his daughter made the whole thing up, never even knew Kavanaugh, and he likes Kavanaugh. So, just more confirmation. I mean, imagine what these people will do, folks. They lie about rape. They lie about treason. They lie about hate crimes. They lie about the history of this country. They lie about themselves. They lie and make up anything. Here's a headline that had people enraged. R. Kelly a no-show in Minnesota court on solicitation charge. Well, this was not really a fair headline, and it does indicate it in the story, but R. Kelly is actually still in jail in Chicago, so couldn't make his court date. He's still in jail. We need to have a moment of silence for Vice News Tonight, which had been running on HBO for 3 years, which has its last episode tonight. So let's have a moment of silence for Vice News Tonight. Last episode, Vice News Tonight ends on HBO. Let's have one moment of silence. Brooke Skylar Richardson walks free on probation in daughter's death. This is a real shocker right here. So Brooke Richardson has a baby. I guess it was an unwanted pregnancy. Buries the newborn in her backyard. And her argument was that it was a stillborn. If that was the case, why would you bury it? Regardless, she gets 3 years probation today. She was found guilty of gross abuse of a corpse. Talk about demonic energy. And she was all emotional today. But, you know, this was an incredible story I couldn't believe. From Denver CBS, I forgave him. Denver mother accepts child's killer as her son. It's called Restorative Justice. It's a risky and emotional program. Now the Denver District Attorney's Office and Conflict Center of Denver are beginning it. Victims and the perpetrators meet face-to-face for purposes of understanding and healing. One person who went through such a program was Charletta Evans. She did something a lot of people wouldn't dare do. She met with the killer of her 3-year-old son. Wow. And now she has forgiven him and even accepts the killer of her son as her son. So what do you think about that as an uplifting story of humanity? So, the good side of humanity, the bad side of humanity. Sadly, it's all humanity. It's all a spiritual battle. And here we are, the day after the Democrats just called for a communist, socialist, gun-confiscating revolution in this country. I don't think it's going to be sitting well with the American voters. Wars. Infowars.com. So, Alex Jones, the test case for total internet censorship, was just the beginning. And, of course, hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of others have been getting purged from social media like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, obviously with InfoWars contributors being some of the main targets. And so when we see this happening, we reach out to these people, we get them on the show, we give them a voice that they're being stripped of. And one popular user of Twitter, iHeartMindy, who's been on it before, Mindy Robinson, was recently censored from Twitter. In fact, I don't know what her current status is. She might still be banned for calling Deborah Messing a bitch. I forget the craziness that came out of Deborah Messing's Hollywood liberal progressive mouth. In fact, Mindy can remind me. So Mindy Robinson joins me. What was the thought crime that you dared execute against Deborah Messing, the Hollywood goddess that you're not allowed to approach?
Well, she had already been remember she was trying to dox Trump supporters. She wanted to know the names of people that had donated to Trump. And
oh, that's right. She calls for doxing of Trump supporters, and that's promoted, but you got to be banned. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next thing she decided to do, which is so loving and tolerant, is I guess she supported a post that said that Black Trump supporters were mentally ill. And I called her a racist bee. And I'm in jail still right now. Like I'm in a week's jail.
Oh my gosh. She's censoring herself now. She says B. She doesn't even say the word.
Well,
you can say, let's go with the old, the EIB way of doing it. B-I itch. Deborah Messing is a B-I itch.
Which is exactly what Chrissy Teigen said the same day to Trump. It actually trended. She didn't get banned. She didn't get suspended. She didn't get anything. I'm just so tired of this hypocrisy. It's so glaring at this point. I don't know what else to do.
Well, and here's what we're wondering. Because social media companies and executives deny that this is going on. But it's so clear. Your case is clear and present. Are these algorithms that are doing this? Is this something coming from the executives building the algorithms? Or is it people just going on and flagging you because liberals are such losers? I guess they have nothing else to do. Leftists just sit on Twitter flagging comments they don't like all day. But they don't even give us the answers. So we just sit here, see the blatant censorship, ask them the questions, and they just say, oh, there's no censorship. And then we're just like, well, that's not true.
Well, I just don't see how the B word would even set off an algorithm. In fact, I sent you guys screenshots. Deborah Messing has used that word numerous times and worse, you know, to call out conservatives that she didn't like, but she never got dinged or banned. Someone had to manually decide that this was against the rules because people were flagging her stuff left and right. She's still up. So who at Twitter decided that no one could say anything mean to Deborah Messing because she's their darling of like liberal mouthpieces?
Are you still banned on Twitter?
Yeah, I got 3 more days.
3 more days in the Twitter jail.
I know,
what a shame.
I'm right here.
What a shame. It's so bad when you're a conservative and you dare cross a Hollywood liberal. I mean, that is just a no-go zone. But as you pointed out, they can call for Barron Trump to be put in a cage with pedophiles. They can call anybody, the B word, like you said, calling for doxing people, calling for violence against people. As long as you hate Trump, that's all allowed. But, you know, everybody knows this is going on, Mindy. Like you said, it's been so obvious for a while now. I know that you like to follow politics. That's why they ban you, because you do commentary on them. Did you catch the Democrat clown show last night?
You know, I feel like I don't have to watch the Democratic debates. I'm just going to watch all my fellow peers troll them and comment about it the next morning. And it turns out I missed a lot of fun. They're taking our guns. They want to get rid of 4th of July. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a real communist revolution inside the Democrat Party right now. I don't even think that they realize what they're saying. It's kind of like the old show Arrested Development. And they asked Tobias, do you ever listen to yourself talk? You know, maybe you should write down what you're saying and read it back to yourself and see if that's really what you mean. But Beto O'Rourke triples down, quadruples down, and then makes a T-shirt. Yeah, we're going to take your AR-15. I bet you have an AR-15. Are you going to give that to Beto?
Oh, it fell in the lake, actually. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, all the guns actually fell into the lake. I shouldn't have took them all camping at one time, basically. No, this is what it's going to lead to. I'm never going to relinquish my guns one way or the other. And I'm at the point now where it's my constitutional right to carry and defend myself. And I do not care what law liberals pass at this point. They're not. Wait a second.
Is that your excuse? I missed your troll. Are you saying if someone comes to your door and says, hey, we need your guns, you say, oh, sorry, they fell in the lake?
You've never heard that?
No, I've never heard that.
You've never heard that. So the running excuse is if they do try to take your guns, you lost them in a fishing boat accident. They're in the water. You'll never find them. I mean, what else can you don't know where you buried them. I mean, that's just the point. The point is I don't see America giving up our guns. I know they think that they have the power to do it, and it would be a mess. And I absolutely don't understand why the left thinks that law enforcement and military, who they've done nothing but crapped on, you know what I mean? They want to help illegals before they help our veterans. They think that those law enforcement people are going to knock on our doors and have Wacos all across America. It's not going to happen. It's the death knell of the Democratic Party, I believe. Their entire platform, doesn't matter who they put forward, sucks so bad that I don't think they can cheat enough to even come close to winning this time.
Well, that's really the challenge. Can they cheat enough with the social media, internet censorship, and the illegal votes? I think that they're right. They're on the edge. But, speaking of the disrespect for our military, I don't know if you've seen this yet. Guys, let's have this video. Portland Thorns fans, I don't think this is an MLS soccer team, but I guess it's a semi-pro soccer team. Portland Thorns fans boo during halftime military swearing-in ceremony where they ask the servicemen, do you pledge allegiance to the President of the United States? Listen to this. Listen to what happens when just the words President of the United States was said over the PA. Listen to how they responded.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And so they start booing and hissing. So who knows if they're even listening, but then they hear President of the United States and it's, boo, hiss, I mean, it's unbelievable. The brainwashing of these people, the programming is real.
I'm in shock. I'm actually in shock. Who do you think these people call when they have a problem? Portland has fallen. Like, I think it's absolutely fallen. And I'm so glad we have things like the Electoral College that they haven't taken from us yet, so that we are not ruled by, urban coastal elites. This is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't see that. I am shocked right now at the level of disrespect they just showed. People who put their lives on the line to protect people that are booing our president, them, everything. I just don't understand. What's going on?
Well, it's kind of the same thing. Like we just had September 11th, where we're told, hey, remember, never forget, this was radical Islamic terror that wants to kill us. But then if you say radical Islamic terror, you're Islamophobe bigot. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, we respect the military. And then they say, you vow to obey the orders of the President of the United States. And then they boo and hiss. And it just shows, it's really just selfishness at the end of the day.
And they think that these are the people that are going to come knock on the door and ask for my guns. Not a universe. Maybe a few people will cross that line, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening, and this is just further proof of that.
Well, and you notice there's never a follow-up question when they ask about the gun grabbing. They never ask, who are you going to send to the doors of Americans? Are you going to send the military? Are you going to send police? Is Beto O'Rourke going to go door to door while he gets a haircut and changes your tire and ask you to turn your gun in and plays the drums? So I don't know. Nobody ever asked that, though. That's the question they don't want to answer. Mindy Robinson with us. I Heart Mindy. 3 days left in Twitter jail, but one segment left here on the War Room. So we will be right back. Who will come grab the guns? Who is Beto going to send to your front door to confiscate your AR? Will it be him? I doubt it. Well, Mindy Robinson's website, Red, White, and FU, pretty much sums up her approach to politics. And so she gets suspended from Twitter. But if you're Chrissy Teigen and you tweet out pretty much the same stuff except worse, or you're Deborah Messing and you call for the doxing of Trump supporters, you're good because you're in the Hollywood establishment. But if you're a conservative like Mindy Robinson, well, they just don't want you to exist. You're bad. But she'll be free in 3 days. So it'll be interesting to see what Mindy does, what she has in store for Twitter once she gets back. But Mindy, the left is going to continue to engage in their hateful tactics, and it's almost as if they want conservatives, I don't know if scared or intimidated is the right word, but they want them to remain silent so that the left can just get away with saying anything like, oh, we're going to confiscate your firearms. For example, a Republican in Texas, Briscoe Cain, tweeted out, my AR-15 is ready for you, in response to Beto's tweet about taking the AR-15. Says, my AR-15 is ready for you. That got flagged by Twitter as a death threat. Beto O'Rourke literally flagged it. Beto O'Rourke literally flagged it as a death threat. No, Beto, you're the one with the death threat when you say you're going to confiscate firearms. That's the death threat. That's the slavery threat. But he does that, and then Briscoe Cain has to remove his tweet saying my AR-15 is ready for you. Well, that could mean he's ready to turn it in. But, of course, it's all about promoting the old from my cold, dead hands. They don't even want that culture out there, Mindy. That's what this is all about. It's all about destroying conservative culture, destroying gun culture, and really just making people afraid of guns, just like Dianne Feinstein and the leftist news would always say. Eric Holder, we got to brainwash people into being scared of guns. It's like that's what they're doing. They're trying to destroy that culture.
What he wrote, and I didn't see it as a threat. I did not read it as a direct threat to Beto. It also can be taken as, hey, I'm going to hand it in if he was that kind of guy. I read it, and to me, it looks like a defensive tactic. If you break into my house, I will shoot you. If you come and get my guns, oh, it'll be here ready for you, that it's not going to leave my hands without a problem. These aren't direct, credible threats to go to someone's house and do something or be, anything like that. That's not a threat. This is a defensive tactic. And to flag it is, God, the left is just a bunch of babies. If they can't debate, they just flag and shut people up. And I think that's why they censor us a lot. They don't want us to reach to the moderates, and they're pushing moderates away. They couldn't push moderates away hard enough and fast enough. And people like me and all the other conservatives online are a threat to them because we debunk what they say. We say, hey, this fact isn't right. That's how the whole election worked for Trump and Hillary. We were constantly debunking the lies and fake news and all the negative stories that weren't really negative. We were debunking that, and that was the biggest threat to the left. We were educating people. And education is the biggest threat to what they're doing right now. Educated people do not fall in line and want socialism. They do not want to be ruled. They do not give up their guns. Educated people do not do those things. So they want the moderates and everyone in the middle to just stay dumb and only hear what they want them to tell them. And I think that is absolutely a terrifying state of our country right now.
Well, and I'm flashing back because I remember, I believe it was Eric Holder and others that said, we have to brainwash people into thinking differently about guns. And I'm seeing that come to fruition now with the media and the Democrats, where I'm walking around. I carry a gun on me for obvious reasons. And it's crazy because there's two different scenarios here, where one time I went into a establishment and the owner came up to me and was asking me about the firearm, saying, hey, that's great. Where'd you get that? Like, yeah, the place of business right up there got robbed the other night. I'm thinking about having a couple guns here, maybe one in my kitchen, one up at the front desk. So it's like, yeah, like, oh, someone sees that, and then they recognize the response that's like, oh, that's good. Like, that's a good guy. I know this guy. I frequent his restaurant. So it's like, oh, that's a good thing. I'm glad that you have that. Then I'm just walking through an apartment complex, and someone sees it and literally like shrieks in horror. Like, they're like, oh, oh my gosh. And like steps like 3 feet, like to the side, like around me, like the gun is going to jump out of my holster or something. And it's just like, it's amazing how there's that total separation of reality. And it is what Eric Holder said. People have been brainwashed into being just afraid of a gun. It's a new phobia. It's like gunophobia.
Which is odd because you look at all the movies, the Jason Bourne movies, all these action movies, everyone is shooting the hell out of each other. Like, I always laugh because they never show them reloading. It's not really that realistic. No one's that good of a shot, especially under pressure. Hollywood creates this make-believe fantasy world of how evil and how many people you can kill with guns. And then they get mad at, I don't know, Farmer John chasing off coyotes on his cattle in Texas. It's absolutely bizarre. It's okay for them. They're really big on creating rules and a life that only applies to them, but not the rest of us. And you look at Hong Kong, who wish they had a Second Amendment right now, because China, what is happening right now is absolutely terrifying. They can't defend themselves against basically a Chinese army. They're fighting to be extradited. They want to be extradited for communist thought crimes, and then have their, they sell organs over there out of, Christians and Muslims. They call them prisoners of conscience. They will cut them open. The Chinese government will sell those organs. And I wish I was making that up. That's not even a conspiracy theory. But, it is what it is. But they don't have the Second Amendment to protect them. And that's what the left wants for us. As we stand right now, we cannot be conquered in the way that the left really, really, truly wants. Real tyranny.
No, that's what it is. That's exactly it. And the left is just the arm that they use to strangle us to death. It's really a one world government that's behind the whole thing. But just look at the fraud where you have Alyssa Milano, who it was over a year ago. The NRA convention was in Dallas, and she had some anti-gun protest. They kicked me out of, by the way. And then I literally brought a group of 100 protesters back, but they kicked me out. Alyssa Milano shows up. She's got armed security bullying and threatening people. Then she does an interview with Ted Cruz and she says, yeah, I have 2 guns for protection. So this woman literally goes around. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio flying around the world on a G5, telling you can't burn fossil fuels, and then going absconding on a yacht, But Alyssa Milano says, oh, I have 2 guns for protection, and then has a rally against the Second Amendment. I mean, the fraud of these people is unreal.
Yes. There's really no other better way to put it. Like, I mean, who's really watching and caring what Alyssa Milano says when they're trolling her? If you look at everything she posts, it's almost all negative. And then like
no, you know what, Mindy? Look at the power. No, look at the power of Alyssa Milano. Just look at that. You know what? I'm turning my guns in.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I'm turning them in now.
I'm gonna buy another one.
I'm convinced. No, but that's the response. Gun sales are up 15%.
We got another gun this week. It was pretty. What are you gonna do?
That's what I'm saying. Every time there's something like this, I'm not even like a big gun guy. I mean, my family's always been big gun owners. I have some hunters in my family, some antique gun owners in my family, big gun safes that I grew up seeing and stuff. But I've never really been a big gun guy. I like the Second Amendment. I have plenty of guns to protect myself. But every time the left threatens the Second Amendment, I go find the nearest gun shop and get a gun.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. I mean, I don't see what their end game can be for this. We're not going to give up our guns. No one's going to help them take them from us. I think their other option, I think that's why they push for open borders, much like they did in Europe, is, well, if they can't brainwash real Americans for the most part, I mean, we're kind of learning and stuff like that, then they're going to import people they think they can, which is why I think they're really for open borders.
Exactly. They'll use the UN, or they'll bring in a social credit score. They'll bring in a social credit score, and then you can't even engage in commerce if you're a police officer or get your paycheck unless you go confiscate guns. It's a bad situation. I don't think it's going to work for him, but I encourage Beto to go door to door. Yeah, go door to door, Beto. In fact,
how many doors do you think he'll get to?
Even if Beto loses, when Beto drops out, I should say, I think he should still go door to door. It's all about the cause. So Beto should go door to door taking guns no matter what.
I give him a day, depending on where he starts.
Let's say he starts in Florida. It'd be probably less than an hour. All right. Mindy Robinson, I Heart Mindy on Twitter. She's removed from jail in 3 days. You can see her there. Or always, redwhiteandfu.com. Thanks for coming on, Mindy.
Thank you.
All right. Short break here, ladies and gentlemen. Do you like this tumbler that I have on my desk? If you don't, there's something wrong with you. You may be blind. But there it is. It's at InfoWarsStore.com. The InfoWars tumblers. We have 4 different designs at InfoWarsStore.com. Get yours today and be like me.
There can be no hiding it now. Any and all views that go against the totalitarian left will be silenced, regardless of whether or not those views violated any policy. This movement that defies our First Amendment rights is led by a growing uptick in Marxism rotting America's higher education. Back in 2016, Campus Reform wrote, Professors Joshua Dunn of the University of Colorado and John A. Shields of Claremont McKenna College discovered about 18% of social scientists in the United States self-identify as Marxists, compared to only about 5% who identify as conservatives, and that was pre-Trump administration.
You know, sure, maybe there's a couple more lefties than you'd expect, but it's having no meaningful impact on our ability to have serious discourse.
That would be false. In a study, gender studies, for example, the field is defined by a set of principles that most conservatives wouldn't agree with. For example, the fashion now is intersectionality. And you will find many departments now, but especially gender studies, explicitly saying we are committed to intersectional analysis of society, and that means they view American society as a matrix of oppression. There is a fallacy at the heart of this theory, which is that ostensibly it's trying to discourage sexism, racism, classism, but to discourage it, it practices them. Everything that the intersectional feminists say that the patriarchal oppressor does, to them, that they are excluded, silenced, marginalized, otherized, they actually do that, they try to do that to the guilty, sinful male privileged elite. And so you have a lot on the campus now, a lot of very ugly situations.
Recently, a team of George Washington University researchers released a paper last month which demands the mass banning of conservatives on social media and the reconstruction of a COINTELPRO-esque infiltration of so-called hate groups. The term hate groups has morphed into a definition of any group the ADL and Silicon Valley deem counter to their globalist vision for the United States. And now the Federal Election Committee, led by liberal chairwoman Ellen Weintraub, is summoning Facebook, Google, and Twitter to a meeting on September 17th to address digital disinformation amid concerns that new forms of Russian-style social media manipulation will target the 2020 election, according to Politico. The Politico article goes on to reveal the event will address growing concerns about homegrown disinformation too, as the Russia narrative twists in the wind. Apparently, it is now all hands on deck in a full-blown censorship rollout ahead of the 2020 election, which is already sizing up to be stolen by the Democrats.
And when I have to explain the Electoral College, I always get this kind of perplexed look.
It's like a tennis match, and if you win the set, then you get all the points. And
then they say, but why do people accept that? And what I have historically said is, well, in the end, it usually doesn't matter. Historically, most elections, the person who wins the Electoral College is also the person who wins the popular vote, so everybody's happy. But of course, more recently, that hasn't been happening all the time. And I worry that just like these other countries the people from other countries were confused about it, that people in our own country will come to feel that the result is not legitimate. There is no evidence of rampant voter fraud in 2016 or really in any previous election. People have studied this. Academics have studied this. Lawyers have studied this. The government has studied this. Democrats have studied this. Republicans have studied this. And no one can find any evidence of rampant voter fraud, either historically or particularly in the 2016 elections. I think it is damaging to our democracy to spread information like that if there is no proof. Now, if there is proof, then we really need to be taking action about that. These are serious allegations.
88-year-old Irvin Miniszewski of Loveland died on September 2011. 6 weeks after his death, a vote was cast in his name.
We did find a single voter that did vote, a deceased voter that did vote, unfortunately.
So a dead person voted?
Dead person voted, yep.
The same records that still showed Emily as a qualified voter for this coming November 2nd election recorded her as actually voting in the presidential elections 2 years ago. But that's impossible because
to beat Trump in 2020. Traveled through space and time. Interdimensional. It's the Infowars.com War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. We've got so much at InfoWarsStore.com, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know where to begin. The tumblers that we have that are great, that I use every day. And I mean, you've seen me. I bang on the desk. I throw things. I pound things. And somehow my tumbler is still totally unfazed. Look at that. Not even a dent on it. I can't tell you how many times I've rang my sound guy's head with this tumbler. His head is not so well, but look at the spotless, dentless tumbler. Sound guy, well, 8-9 concussions. Tumbler, not a single dent, not a single scratch. That's amazing. And so I really shouldn't even blame my sound guy when he misses his cues because I rang him over the head with the tumbler so many times. So it's the InfoWars tumbler at InfoWarsStore.com. Turbo Force, the official drink of the War Room. It's all at InfoWarsStore.com, ladies and gentlemen. Air filters, water filters, the best you can get. And as you know, your support there fuels this mothership of informational warfare against the New World Order. Now, I have a bit of a story to tell, and I'm sad right now because my next guest, Bryson Gray, had me almost in tears. I enjoyed his interview. I think it was a local Fox affiliate before a Trump rally, and a video goes viral where he's got friends that tell him he can't wear a MAGA hat. In fact, I think we have that video, guys. Let's go ahead and roll that video before we're joined by Bryson Gray. This is Bryson Gray going viral for wearing the world's biggest MAGA hat.
Rights to free speech.
I have a lot of friends who tell me that I shouldn't support Donald Trump because I'm black, which is sort of insane because this is politics. I can support whoever the hell I want to support. But and then also they told me I shouldn't wear the MAGA hat, so I bought the biggest MAGA hat. So it makes it double the importance. So that's why.
Secure area outside the venue.
It's level 100 trolling. I mean, I appreciate it so much. It gets me all giddy inside, like Al Sharpton. So I had to get him on. Now, the bad news, I'll go ahead and spoil myself right here, Bryson. I actually ordered this MAGA hat. I went and I found the MAGA hat on the internet, and I ordered it, and it was supposed to be in today, and I was going to wear it, and hopefully we could both have the big foam MAGA hat on, but you've got yours on, and
Yes,
so
sir.
there it is. I feel... I just don't feel like I even belong on the same stage as you right now because you've got the world's biggest MAGA hat on, but we'll do this anyway. So, but seriously,
Let's do
so
it.
this is great. This is what rebellion is all about. This is what just bucking the establishment, bucking the system is all about. People say you can't wear a MAGA hat. You went out and bought the biggest MAGA hat you could find. So just tell your story real quick about that MAGA hat.
Well, funny quick story. I was on the phone with my friend who's famous, and he's a rapper. His name is DJ Luke Nasty. And he was like, after everything went viral, he was talking to me about it. And then my friend Tubbs got on the line. He was like, it's actually so funny because we're the friends you were talking about. So, like, my friends, family, they really told me multiple times, because I'm always vocal about my support for Trump. And they always told me, stop doing that, especially since I'm a rapper and I make music. They said, stop doing that. It's going to kill your music career. Stop being openly an open Trump supporter. Like, just stop it. Don't wear that MAGA hat out. So I was like, okay, sounds great. And I bought the biggest one I could find. And here we are now.
It's hilarious, but it's such the spirit of defiance. You know, I'm the same way where I just can't help but just go against what people are telling me to do. Like, people who get to know me, seriously, people who get to know me realize, all right, just don't tell Owen not to do that. He'll literally do it first thing tomorrow. But it's kind of the same thing.
Same thing with me.
Beyond just the big MAGA hat, though, I mean, don't you think just that spirit exists just in wearing the MAGA hat? I mean, so many people who are sick of being told what to do, sick of being told who they can vote for, sick of being told what their politics should be. Specifically, I mean, if you are black, because people tell you, like you said, oh, you're not allowed to be conservative. You're not allowed to support Trump. Kanye West wears a Trump hat. They say he's mentally ill. So like it is on your T-shirt. Exactly. So, I mean, to me, it's just a spirit of defiance where it's just said, hey, you're not going to tell me what hat I can't wear.
Not only that, not only are you not going to tell me what hat I can't wear, on my Facebook, I go live and I do these things called MAGA hat tours. It was before Trump even posted me, and I wear this MAGA hat. I'll wear it out to whoever people tell me not to wear it, because not only are you not going to tell me what I can and can't wear and who I can and can't support, but you're not going to do nothing when I do it either. So, you know.
So this is actually great. I didn't know this, but the crew is just pulling up your Twitter. You actually do produce your own music there, and you have a video that's pinned to your Twitter. Maybe we play that video in the next segment with you. So you've kind of intertwined politics into your rap songs?
Yeah, because the radio station, I've been on the radio. I performed with 50 Cent. I performed in front of thousands of people before in my hometown. And once I came out as an open Trump supporter, it's like the radio stopped playing me, don't even respond back to my email. And then everybody, including sometimes my parents, they would say something like, don't do that, you know, for your music career and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, now I'm about to drop an album about Trump. Bump it, whatever. So I made a song called Black Not Democrat. I have a few songs that's politically related.
All right, guys, let's air one of those. Are they censored? Do we need to censor them?
Oh, no. Black Not Democrat. I'm sure it's no cuss words in that one. Then I got another one that's no cuss word in that. On my political songs, I don't cuss.
Okay, guys, let's air the song that's pinned on his Twitter in the next segment. Let's give the audience a taste of that. You know, here's the funny thing, though. With the people telling you, oh, don't do that, it's bad for your music career. Look, I am a connoisseur of music, and I love all types of music. And quite frankly, some of my favorite musicians are not Trump supporters, to put it lightly. They're bleeding heart liberals. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy their music. The strings still sound the same on the guitar. The voice still sounds the same on the microphone. The drums banging still sound. So it's like, what is this deal where it's like, oh man, I like that song until I found out you like Trump. It's like, well, the song didn't change.
I've heard that before, actually, many times. I heard like I'm sort of popular in my hometown for music, and I've lost friends. I've had family members say you're embarrassing to the family, this and this and this. But then, my favorite line is, do you want to debate about it? Like, do you actually know it? My thing is, do you know what you're talking about? And if you don't, then shut up. I mean, simple as that, really.
But that's what it comes down to, is they say, oh man, they just want to sit here and put you in a box or tell you what you can't do. And then when you stand up and you say, well, now wait a second, I'm going to defend this, then they don't want to talk to you.
No, I mean, liberals don't want to talk. I posted on Facebook one day that illegal immigration is illegal. We do know that, right? And a group of Latin friends that I played volleyball with every Sunday, they all just cut me off. I'm not invited to volleyball no more. It was just over.
Wait a second. Are you telling me they sandbagged you from the volleyball team?
Yes, sir. I'm telling you. I'm like, dang, volleyball fun. What are we doing here?
Can't even play volleyball anymore.
I can't even play volleyball no more. What are we talking about?
You know what you have to do, though, right?
What I got to do next?
You got to make your own volleyball squad, and all of you have to wear that Trump hat when you play.
Oh, that's not going to happen. My friends hate Trump.
Well, just find, is this sand volleyball? What are we talking here?
Sand volleyball, definitely. Definitely sand volleyball.
Sand volleyball is great. My crew volunteered. They said they'll come out and play volleyball with you.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it we all got to have the big Trump hats, though. Let's go. The big Trump hats, though. We got to go big with it.
No, I agree. Can you imagine if you showed up at the sand volleyball court? Usually, it's like 6 people on the court at the same time,
yes,
I think, for these?
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
It's really fun, actually. Sand volleyball is really fun. I used to play it in St. Louis. But imagine you got 6 guys and gals on the sand volleyball court, all with the huge Trump hats. It'd be the funniest thing ever.
Oh my! I think we should do it. I think we should set that up. I think that sounds amazing.
I mean, let's go next level. Let's, oh my God, let's start a new thing. It's like, we'll just form teams in like all different cities. We'll find 6 people in all these cities. We'll ship them big MAGA hats and just have them go join all these volleyball leagues. And the next thing you know, there's going to be a story on CBS, ABC. Sand volleyball leagues at local pubs are being invaded by Trump supporters wearing foam Trump hats. It all started at InfoWars. Is it a white supremacist conspiracy started by a black man? We break it all down at primetime with Andrew Cuomo on CNN. Oh my gosh, that would be the ultimate troll right there. Welcome back to the Infowars.com War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. Sometimes things start as a joke on this show, and then they kind of manifest themselves in a real-world troll. We're joking about Bryson Gray's biggest MAGA hat in the world that I'm so jealous of. I had to order one. I'm upset it's not here today. But he's wearing it on the air. You can see it right there. It's just trollrific. I just made up a new word. Trollrific. Yeah. We're breaking new grounds today on the War Room. But we were joking about how we need to make a sand volleyball team, and you all show up wearing the MAGA hat. And so now the crew is like actually looking into doing this, and we've actually made a promo picture, a recruitment picture, if you will. Did we finish that, guys? Did we have our recruitment picture ready? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought we had that ready. We'll show our team recruitment picture before we sign off here for our we're going to call ourselves the Ass Hats, and we're going to be signing up for a sand volleyball league here, and we're all going to wear MAGA hats. Inspired by Bryson Gray's viral video. But I'd never heard of you before that viral video. So glad I have. And you've also do some music. So you've got this rap song pinned to your Twitter. This is in response to people. It's kind of like Kanye West when he had the song Jesus Walks, saying, oh, I can't rap about Jesus. Well, here's a song that I'm going to make about Jesus. It's like people tell you can't rap about Trump. So you made this song. Tell the story about this song, and then we're going to listen to some of it.
Well, it pretty much came from people telling me I can't mix music and politics because in the hip hop community, nobody's conservative. But once again, like I say all the time, I do whatever I want. So with that being said, I made a whole political album, and it's called Politically Incorrect. And this is the first song I released from it, called Black Not Democrat.
All right, let's go to it.
I'm black, I'm not Democrat, Peter MAGA hat. Ooh, they try to take my guns, I can't go like that. Ooh, they try to take our funds, I can't go like that. Ooh, they try to ban our speech, I can't go like that. Yeah, I'm black, Peter MAGA hat, I'm not Democrat. Yeah, I'm strapped, they ain't taking that. I'm just talking facts, yeah, yeah. When you disagree, watch how liberals act, yeah, yeah. They try to ride on me, but they caught a flat. Look at the unemployment.
Now, this is great. We're showing the music video here, too. Original animation. How you get treated as a black Trump supporter here. They have signs that say Coon and Uncle Tom. Yeah, that's what you get.
Facts. Democrat, Peter MAGA hat. Ooh, they try to take my guns, I can't go like that. Ooh, they try to take our funds, I can't go like that. Ooh,
This is great. This is not only a song, but it's it tells a story with the music video too.
Yes, sir. It definitely tells a story.
I can't go like that. Ooh, they try to take our funds, I can't go like that. Ooh, they try to ban our speech, I can't go like that. Y'all get hype behind computers, like we teach you like a tutor. They out here trying to kill our babies. Don't you know that they our future? They give free abortions, they put us on welfare. Replace our families with checks, and that's gonna make us stay there. Look at our history. Don't you see all that hate there? Look who started the KKK, man. They not trying to play fair. Then they say it was a switch so they could change your memory. I was a slave too.
See, if you heard this on the radio, you'd think this was a top Billboard artist right here. But as they say, oh, see, but this is what angers me. They tell you just want to be creative and make your own art, and then they tell you, oh, don't mix politics and your music. Are you kidding me? Snoop Dogg does a video pretending to shoot Trump. Eminem does a whole song talking about how he wants to kill Trump. He used to rap about how Bush was bad. Lil Wayne would rap about how Bush was bad. So that's total BS. Bob Dylan used to make songs in the 70s. I mean, what do you mean you can't do politics? So the lie is that. The lie is it's not you can't do politics and music. The lie is you can't be a conservative or you can't be a patriot and mix that in with music. That's what they're really telling you.
I know that's true because I used to be a super liberal and I made songs about, what I thought was my views then, and nobody said anything. And the songs were so disrespectful to American values, and nobody said nothing. But soon as I make a dang on song supporting Donald Trump or come out Donald Trump, oh, now we got a problem. Oh, now it's an issue. Oh, now I can't do it. Oh, now it's going to end my music career. Well, once again, I do whatever I want, period.
No, you sound like you've got the spirit of defiance like me. The more people tell you not to do something, the more you're going to do it.
Yes, biggest MAGA hat, and I'm going to make it bigger.
The biggest MAGA hat. It's true, though. I never saw it. And I'm telling you, I about burst into tears laughing when I saw that video of you just being like, yeah, they told me I couldn't wear a MAGA hat, so I found the biggest one I could, and now here I am. So where can people find your music, and how can people follow your political commentary?
If you want to follow me on Bryson Creates, which is on Instagram, and that's my Twitter that's popped up on the screen right there. It's awkward. It's Sis versus Vodka because I have multiple monikers. But you should be able to just type in Bryson Gray in the Twitter search, and I should come up. Today I had a We Are All Racist party on Twitter, and it was fun. Y'all missed it. We had all types of races in there. We had black races, Hispanic races. We had Japanese races. We had a trans racist person. Like, I'm telling you, it was a fun party on my Twitter today.
This is like a weird thing that's happening in the conservative movement. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I don't know, like viral trolling or like internal trolling where you just have like, I remember it's like, I don't know how old you are. I'm 30 years old and
28.
Okay, so we're about the same age. So you may remember, you remember when AOL Instant Messenger was like really the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone was on AOL Instant Messenger. And you remember how you used to go into, there were all these chat rooms, right? And it was just chat rooms and people go in there with their screen names. And we would just sit in there and type stupid stuff, goofy, silly stuff, like immature kids. It's kind of like that's like the new thing is like, oh, let's all make jokes about how we're racist and bigots and all this stuff. Of course, trolling the left that thinks everything's racist, like a glass of milk is racist.
Yeah, that's why I did it. It's more to that also. I'm really trying to take the power. I feel like what they hate most is people taking power away from them. So if I call myself a racist and everybody call themselves a racist, and you go to my Twitter and it's a bunch of it's a diverse group calling themselves racist, what can they say? They can't say nothing. And a black guy started it. So it's like, what can you really say except for cry? That's why I need to buy that the thing you got on your desk. I need to buy that so I can fill my cup up every day with these liberal tears.
Actually, guys, yeah, pull that up. Let's see which one he likes the best. Which one of these Tumblr designs do you think would trigger a liberal the most? Is it?
Let's go through it.
There's the hexagon. They wouldn't probably know what that is. The InfoWars would definitely trigger them.
Oh,
they hate the snake. Oh, I think the next one. I think the Trump Wolverine. Let's no. Oh, did we just find an error on the store website right now? Is that what we've done? Is that what we did? Oh, wow. Oh, the IT is going to have to get on that. Maybe we're out of the Wolverine. All right, well, we're running out of time here. Bryson, thank you so much for joining us. Let's do this again. Let's do this again sometime. Next time you drop a song or a viral video comes out, or maybe when I get my oversized MAGA hat in,
yes,
we'll have you back on air for a giant MAGA hat collab.
I'm releasing a political album within the next 2 weeks, and when you get your hat, I'll probably have my bigger hat in, and we can have a party, man.
Bigger hat?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Am I going to have to get into a hat competition with Bryson? He's going to come on air. He's going to have like a 4-foot wide hat, and I'm going to be like, you thought you had me. And the whole studio is just going to be red foam, and you won't even be able to tell what it is. All right, Bryson, stay in touch. When that next album drops, let us know, and let's get you on again. We'll play a little sample from that, because let's not let liberal politics dominate music and culture. It's just, most of it's not even good, folks. It's not even spirited. This is good stuff from Bryson Gray. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Infowars.com War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. Quick breaking news update real quick before my guest, Katie Williams, joins me. Crowned beauty queen from Nevada, Miss Nevada, who had her crown stripped because she doesn't hate Trump. So we'll talk to her about that. But again, this is breaking. The Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, has finished his report. It is now being given to the Department of Justice and Attorney General Barr. And the review process for the declassification of said documents is happening right now. And so what that means, I don't really know. I just know of the Inspector General's report and the declassified documents from the FISA abuse it could possibly even get released before the end of this weekend, but they may try to delay that. But I just wanted to put that news out. In fact, guys, will you just print that story so I have it on my desk too, please? I know I'm making guys do 100 things at once. Now, I have to divulge something here before the beauty queen from Nevada, Katie Williams, joins me. I like to exercise, and I'm really into exercise. And so one of the crew members here, Savannah, invited me to go to her exercise group last night. And honestly, I didn't know what to expect. But this is shocking footage. I can't believe what happened when I was invited to an exercise class last night. Guys, go ahead and roll it. Now, you can't see me amongst all the booty shorts, but I am in there twerking. Savannah is filming this, but this is the new exercise routine for 2019. You just get on your hands and knees and shake your butt. It's called the Cardi B twerk. It's called the Miley Cyrus butt flex. And you don't even have to have a real ass to do it. You can just put a fake butt in there and just shake it around. And so thank you, Savannah, for inviting me to your exercise class last night. Thank you so much. I won't be attending again. But thank you for inviting me to that. I'm actually shocked guys don't attend that. I'm sure you can imagine why they would. Anyway, that video is going viral, so we make a joke. Now, Katie Williams, formerly Miss Nevada, had her crown stripped because she doesn't hate Trump and has conservative politics. She joins me now. So, Katie, tell the audience what happened. Miss Nevada was stripped of her beauty crown for her support for Trump. Katie, tell the story.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me. So in April, I was crowned Miss Nevada State to compete in the Miss America pageant. And over the course of a couple months, I had a few phone conversations with the CEO. And it became very clear that I couldn't trust her. So I actually asked for everything to be in writing. And once I did that, she kind of got, very agitated with me and eventually disqualified me from the pageant just days before it.
Now, I'm confused here. Since when is this even an issue with beauty pageants? Did we just lose her connection, guys? Okay, we got you back.
I'm sorry.
We got you
I
back.
got you back, sir.
So when did this become a thing with beauty pageants where there's some sort of background check for politics? We also heard about Kathy Zhu getting removed from a beauty pageant or a crown that she won from Michigan. Now it happens to you. Is this a new thing under President Trump? Since when is having conservative politics something that gets you removed from beauty pageants?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think a lot of people think that President Trump is a controversial figure, and I just don't believe that. I think maybe it's just because people can't deal with the fact that he's a politician that doesn't pander to the public.
Well, I think that you nailed it on the head. The media has done such an incredible fake news job making the president into something he's not, like you said, this controversial figure, or just having conservative politics or loving America as some controversial thing, where now if you say, hey, I like America, hey, I want to have a border, hey, I don't like illegal immigration, hey, the Second Amendment's a good thing, it's somehow like you're a criminal, you're a thought criminal now. That gets demonized. And then, I mean, it starts with removing you from beauty pageants, removing you from your bank account, removing you from social media. I mean, this is just where it begins, but this is what they've done to you.
Yeah, I think it's really sad that where we actually come into this, where common sense politics no longer plays a role in our modern day society. It's a really sad concept, and you can see the silent majority of conservatives that just keep getting pushed down into the, silent masses, and we're just not going to have it anymore.
Do you think the people that remove you from this beauty pageant are doing this for their own political reasons, or do they actually fall for this false narrative that Trump is so controversial, we can't have anybody that likes Trump involved in our pageants?
I'm not sure. I actually did my due diligence, and I could created a second page like she had asked me to, and I still got disqualified, and I continuously asked her why, what was specifically wrong with my page, and she could never really point that out to me. She said that she voted for Trump in 2016 and that she's going to vote for him again in 2020 and that she's conservative, but that's not my experience with her or the pageant.
So wait, you're telling me the leader of this pageant claims to be a Trump supporter, but has you removed for being a Trump supporter?
Well, and she never said specifically, this is why I'm removing you, but she just said that I'm too political for the pageant and that I don't express the same views as the pageant system.
Now, what does that mean, too political, exactly? What do you do that's too political? I mean, you have a T-shirt on that says taxation is theft. Is that too political?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think that when I had posted something about Antifa being a domestic terrorist organization, as they should be claimed to be, that was one of the tipping points. And I also donned a Trump 2020 hat, and that was a big deal for her as well.
So do you think they'll come out and make some statement, a formal statement? I wouldn't count on it, but it seems that they should, saying if you're going to start promoting a political candidate, we're going to have to reconsider you being involved in our beauty pageants? Or do you think this is just going to be a case-by-case basis? Oh, we found one with a Trump hat on, get her out of there.
Well, they already did make a statement about me. So if you actually go to their website, they have an entire link dedicated to me and their opinions and their experience with me. But, everything that I've had is on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I've put my entire deck of cards out there for everybody to see. So
there it is right there. You can look at it for yourself. Where can people find all this information? Or is it on your Twitter account? Do you have a website?
Yeah, so it's everywhere, actually. So my website is katiewilliamsnv.com, and I have links to all my social media pages on there, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Now, are you hearing, because obviously, I mean, we had Kathy Zhu on to discuss this. I know that you've done some speaking events with Kathy. Are there other beauty pageant contestants that have experienced similar, really discrimination for their politics?
Yeah, I actually think there have been. There's been a few that have reached out to me. They didn't want to go public with any of their stories because they have certain professions or families that they just don't want to do that. But they actually did reach out to me and talk to me and tell me their experience with this certain pageant system or that certain pageant system, just other kind of weird experiences that happened to them. And they're really actually happy that people like myself and Kathy Zhu started speaking out against this.
You know, that's actually funny you say that, because I have people reaching out to me from a bunch of different industries that say the same thing. It's like, hey, we're big fans of you guys. We really like Trump, but we can't say anything, you know, because of the industry you're in, because of where I work, this, that, or the other thing. And so they say, you know, thank you for standing up. Please don't stop standing up. Please continue to support the cause, because there's so many unheard voices that have been silenced because of either the industries they work in, the jobs that they have, whatever. And so you're kind of now a voice for people in the, it sounds like the beauty pageant community that are afraid to espouse their politics because they may get removed. So let's talk more about that on the other side. Again, former Miss Nevada stripped of her crown. They say, you know, too much politics, but it's really because she just likes Trump. They just won't say it in so many words. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Infowars.com War Room. Katie Williams is our guest. She was crowned in April Miss Nevada, then disqualified because of her politics, or she was too political. Of course, that just means she likes Trump, but they wouldn't admit that in so many words. And that's really just a story that's reached so many different walks of life now, where if you're a Trump supporter, you basically get blackballed, which is totally unfair. Trump's totally popular. America's totally popular. It's just the media spinning it. And as Katie said, making Trump this false controversial figure, or like a gun is somehow controversial, like people shriek in horror at a gun, and it's really just all propaganda. So, I mean, Katie, what does it feel like to something you've worked at your whole life and it just gets stripped away? You didn't even do anything wrong. You just have a political belief that you like to share publicly, which is brave enough, and then you get stripped of something that you've been working for your whole life. I mean, you know, what does that feel like to have your politics, you know, ruin something you've been doing your whole life?
You know, it's sad. I don't think I've been working for pageantry itself my whole life, because I'm a U.S. Army veteran, so I've actually been in the military the majority.
No, I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that. Thank you for bringing that up.
It's okay.
Which is even worse. Which makes this even worse. I mean, forget that. You know, Trump supporter removed from title. U.S. Army veteran removed from title.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, I hold my military service really dear to my heart. You know, I worked really hard for years. You know, I served for 12 years in the military, and, you know, when I try, you know, something like pageantry to kind of show a different side of me, and I'm not even able to show that side of me, you know, and what I thought was so funny, I was like, well, if the military never had a problem with the way I thought, then why do pageants?
I totally forgot to mention that. I know that it's on your Twitter account, but
yeah.
To me, it just makes the whole thing worse. I mean, we understand the whole politics and how they've demonized Trump, and really weak-minded people fall for it. But to really go against veterans, and we see it happening every day. In fact, I was just telling while you were talking, I was like, hey, you know, this one veteran we get on, Gretchen Smith, she does Code of Vets. She gets censored all day long on Twitter. I'm sure you've heard of her. All she does is veterans help and promote veterans and raise funds and give them homes and clothes and keep them off suicide. And they censor her. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, where do you tally this up? Why is there all of this attack on Trump supporters or anybody who's a conservative? How do they justify this?
Well, I think they're trying to, you know, kind of, you know, not to say build a new world order, but that's exactly what's happening. You know, I think with Gretchen, she sheds a light on homeless veterans and PTSD and the problems that really, you know, are a detriment to the veteran community. And if we were to actually show that to the public, I think that people would realize that, hey, maybe immigration's not one of our number one issues, and maybe we should worry about Americans first, especially those Americans that fought overseas. And some of them didn't even get to come home.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw the video from Portland where they did a swearing-in ceremony for service members, and they said just part of the oath is that you'll obey the president's orders. And then they say, President of the United States. The crowd literally boos. They literally started booing and hissing. The propaganda has really gone next level. On a lighter note, though, did you happen to see the biggest MAGA hat in the world that was on the broadcast before you joined us?
I did. I was cracking up yesterday when I saw it, actually.
Well, look, you know, I'm not really a model. You know, you could say amateur. I've done some work around here. But we put a promo together new. We're going to have a sand volleyball team. We're going to try to do this nationwide. We're going to start a bunch of sand volleyball teams. So look at the new promo that we have here, guys. This is the new promotional picture for the MAGA hat sand volleyball team. As you can see, I'm diving. This is real-time action, by the way. I was just practicing my sand volleyball skills. It's not a big deal.
Very
I dive
good.
for balls.
Very good. I like
you
it.
know, it's pretty good, but
You practice.
but here's what I'm saying. We need other models. Can we get maybe some of these conservatives in the beauty pageant community to help us promote our new sand volleyball teams nationwide, where we go to sand volleyball courts and wear the biggest MAGA hat in the world?
You know, I think they would. I think that the ladies would. They actually like it. I think I saw that video, I mean, retweeted thousands of times already.
I think we are onto something here. We start the sand volleyball teams, and you just sign up at some local bar league or whatever. You just go out once a week in your big MAGA hat, see how people respond. I mean, there's nothing can go wrong, right, Katie?
No, nothing. I mean, you may get a milkshake, but I don't know if it'll get handed to you or thrown on you.
No. They'll throw beer on you.
Oh, well, they're not supposed to throw it on you. Just give it to me in a cup, and you know.
Yeah, exactly. I'll gladly consume the beer. Don't waste beer.
Yeah, that's a party foul.
So we're gonna do this now, and maybe I see. Like, this is like a troll. Like, we don't even have time to organize this. But sometimes trolls like this actually get ground, and people actually take action. So I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. Tomorrow there's gonna be a petition.
If we start a sand volleyball team, that really just one person has to do it. One person starts a sand volleyball team and does one video with all of them on the court and their giant foam MAGA hats. That's how you start the revolution right there. We're going to revolutionize sand volleyball courts nationwide.
Yeah, I don't think it would even matter the race or ethnicity of the players. You're all going to be white supremacists at that point.
That's true. Then they'll start banning MAGA hats from sand volleyball leagues.
Yeah, or the beach, you know.
That's true. Oh, if you can't have it on a sand volleyball court, well, maybe you can't have it on a beach. That's maybe a little racist too.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we're at. Sadly, though, this is where we're at right now in culture. Before you go, what did you think about? Did you catch the debates last night?
I watched every single minute of it.
What would your analysis be on what I'm calling Democrats calling for a communist revolution, essentially, last night on the debate stage? Radical stuff.
I thought it was really interesting, actually. You know, I have known that Joe Biden was going to be their front runner for the entire time because he's safe, and every now and then he says the right thing. You know, and like I was here listening on a analysis earlier this morning, you know, he's kind of like the grandpa of the group. You know, he's not a threat to the American people. He's not really going to do anything, but he's not President Trump, of course. So that's why they like him. And I think Elizabeth Warren, she was actually quite, you know, she was quiet yesterday. I actually expected more out of her, but she was not as loud or, you know, rambunctious as she usually is. And I think it's because she doesn't believe half the things she's actually saying. So when you look at Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris, they actually believe what they're saying, and therefore they're usually the loudest ones. And I think the worst one is probably Castro. I don't even understand why he's on that stage.
Well, they got to put someone up there to keep Gabbard off the stage.
Oh, I know. I think if they put Tulsi Gabbard back on that stage, Kamala Harris should have just backed out and been like, you're right, I'm done. I'm not going to be president. So.
Yeah, and it's sad because, I mean, Tulsi Gabbard is starting to realize it. I mean, look, these women probably disagree with our politics, but, I mean, we tried to warn people. The Democrat Party's totally rigged. Gabbard and Marianne Williamson will never get a chance because they're genuine in their approach to things. They may be zany, they may be liberal in their politics, but that's why the Democrats never had. So Tulsi has to sue Google. Marianne Williamson caught hot mic.
Yeah, if you hear them too, and they speak about it all the time, you know. And I actually follow all these Democratic candidates just so I can see what they're actually posting and see if any of it actually makes sense or if they're, you know, normal, I guess, in one sense or another. But yeah, Marianne Williamson and Tulsi Gabbard both, they seem to have a normal side to them. And then the moment the DNC recognized that, they were just like, well, we can't put them on stage. They're going to put us on blast.
Yeah, and now they're just saying, we're going to come take your rifles. We're just going to come take them. Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. trying to start a civil war. All right, Katie. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Katie Williams, NV.com is her website. And where can people follow you on social media?
So on Instagram, I'm at Real Katie Williams, and then Twitter is at KatieJo1821.
And it's funny when they do this to you, strip your crown from you as a beauty pageant contestant, you probably got more popular than ever, I would imagine.
I did, actually. I was like, man, this is better than actually winning the national pageant.
It's funny how that works, isn't it? Katie, thank you so much, and best of luck in everything you're doing now that they blackballed you from the beauty pageant community.
All right, thank you.
There she goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you know what? Let's come back. We've got exclusive video from the Democrat debates last night that you didn't see anywhere. We're going to air that coming up. And then we've got also an Alex Jones report coming up. He has an announcement to make in the next hour as well. Frank Kavanaugh joins us. We'll take some phone calls. That's all coming up on the other side of this short break. Go to InfoWarsStore.com before it's too late. All right, we've got an announcement from Alex Jones coming up in the next segment. Frank Kavanaugh also going to join us, and we'll squeeze in some phone calls with Frank. But, you know, yesterday we aired exclusive footage from the pre-debate meal where the Democrats ate John Hickenlooper after putting his body into a meat grinder. Well, we've got exclusive footage now, which was actually obtained from Joseph Saladino for Congress. Shocking stuff. This is footage from last night's debate that you're not going to see anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to go over to Biden now. Biden. Hey, has anyone seen Biden? It appears that we have some technical difficulties. We cannot actually find Biden. What was that? Right. Ah!
It's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. You know, it's the Joey Salads campaign is an interesting one to watch. To see if he can be successful or not. How many people make videos like that for a campaign? So can the power of social media, can he use the power of social media to get himself into office? Only time will tell, but that is gold content right there. Let's see. We got some other videos. Or do I have other videos? Did Joe Biden's teeth fall out last night? Well, it's really irrelevant to me. The Democrat Party fell out last night after the communist revolution that they called for on air. Oh, you know, let's go to clip 6 just to make this announcement. Tommy Robinson has been released from jail, and you'll hardly recognize him. Guys, roll clip 6.
My only message to them is, you're a disgrace and embarrassment, because if this happened to a journalist in Hong Kong, if what's happened to me happened to a journalist in Russia, in China, you'd all be up in arms. But because I talk about Islam, you're all silent. You're all complicit in the attack on free speech that we're witnessing. You're all complicit on what's happened to our country. All of the media are.
Well, it's a great point. Right now, there's Venezuela.
I was found guilty by an appointed judge. By an appointed judge
That's how
2
the
weeks
law
before.
works.
No, not by a jury. Common law, English common law, says that if you can face over 6 months in prison, you get a jury. I was not given a jury.
So you think you'd be not guilty if it was a jury
I know
trial?
I'd have got found not guilty, and so do they. It's the only offence in the whole entire country, yeah, that you can get taken to prison for up to 2 years without a jury. Without a jury.
Well, that's how contempt works. That's
No,
the law.
that's not how English common law works. So that goes against English common law. And why was I at the Old Bailey? You tell me as a journalist, why was I at the Old Bailey? 13 murder trials and me for holding my phone up, and I was convicted of
high profile, Tommy.
Because I'm high profile, that's why I'm at the Old Bailey.
Well, maybe it is.
What difference does that make?
Because they know you're going to have all your fans are going to be there.
What difference
and
does
they
it
know
make?
because obviously the security procedures aren't the same as the Old Bailey as they are at other courts.
Well, I've been to 10 different courts over the years. They've never moved me to Old Bailey.
Your popularity has increased. Look how
My
popular you are.
increased. I'm glad you recognise that.
So Tommy Robinson, released from jail, as you can see, lost a bunch of weight, grew a beard, does seem to have the same fire, though, which is good to see. That's, you know, they obviously would love to see that beaten out of him, but he still seems to have the same patriotic fire that he went in with. But it's amazing. He's totally right. Or look at look at Jamal Khashoggi. Now, obviously, Khashoggi ends up dead, but the whole point is that whenever there's oppression of a journalist in some nation that they consider to be totalitarian or that is, or let's say a Chinese journalist or a Russian journalist or all this stuff makes the news, but if it happens in Britain because a guy calls out a pedophile grooming gang that happens to be Muslims, well, nobody talks about it. He gets demonized. So it just shows you, I don't even know. It's not even a double standard. It's really an agenda-driven media is what it is. It's really an agenda-driven media that demonizes Tommy Robinson. But again, if he was a Hong Kong journalist that got arrested by police because he was calling out a Chinese torture camp or something, it'd be all over the press and attack on free speech in China. But if it happens in Britain to a white guy who calls out a pedophile grooming gang of Muslims, well, then that's good, and he's the bad guy. By the way, Julian Assange, when his jail sentence in, they said they're going to keep him in jail after that. Isn't that nice? Final hour of what has been a busy broadcast week here at Infowars.com/show, here on the War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. There will be some broadcasts over the weekend at Infowars.com/show. Infowars.com/show is always live, folks. There's always something streaming there for your viewing pleasure. And, of course, it's all powered by you at InfoWarsStore.com. Now, Alex is about to make an announcement here. We're going to go to Alex in just a minute. But if you're not getting your toothpaste from InfoWarsStore.com, now's the time to switch. We're totally under attack. If you're not getting your shampoo and body wash from InfoWarsStore.com, now's the time. These are household items. Everybody uses toothpaste. Everybody uses body wash in the shower. Why not get it from InfoWarsStore.com? How about water filters? Do you have a water filter in your home? Do you have an air filter in your home? If not, what are you waiting for? We have the best water filters at InfoWarsStore.com and the best air filters at InfoWarsStore.com. But now we have a brand new T-shirt that Alex is really excited about. So again, this is just InfoWarsStore.com. Refresh your page, and there's probably something new for you to find. So here's Alex Jones with a big announcement to make. A brand new T-shirt coming to InfoWarsStore.com.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15. Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15.
I've got a message for the scumbag anti-American Beto O'Rourke. You're down here thinking you can tame Texas and conquer us and destroy us like California. You think you can turn us into your disarmed slaves? Beto O'Rourke, you're well known for fantasizing and writing essays about murdering children. And you even got away with a hit and run and burglary. You're a dirty criminal. You've got your own bodyguards because you're hooked into that billionaire wife of yours. How dare you try to demonize American gun owners? Just in case you didn't know, this country was founded when the Redcoats came to take the guns in 1775. That's why we got July 4th. So I'm going to tell you what George Washington and the Continental Congress told King George III. You're not getting our firearms because we're free men, you little piece of crap. America and the world's glad, though, that you finally got the guts to admit your plan with the rest of those scumbag Democrats. Beto O'Rourke, you're on notice. You're not getting our firearms ever, scumbag. For decades, we warned you. The Democratic Party, working for the globalist, wants your guns. That's always been their goal. In 150 other plus nations, they've all taken them through the same formula. Take a few mass shootings, demonize gun owners, start registration, and then confiscation of all semi-autos. That's about 90% of guns. Then they ban the single shot. And the public lives under increased crime and, of course, tyrannical governments. On your journey to slavery, the number one signpost is that they take your speech and then they take your right to defend yourself. Well, Beto O'Rourke is the champion of, hell yes, I'll confiscate your semi-automatics. But all the Democrats on the stage at the last debate said, we're coming for your guns. We're going to confiscate them. They're normalizing this after denying it for decades, when again, it's been their plan all along. Their own white papers and internal documents show. Well, the day after this happened, I went to our graphics department. I said, we got to have some shirt countering Beto. He's come out with a shirt saying, hell yes, I'm going to confiscate your guns. Hell yes, I'm going to start a civil war, basically. Hell yes, I'm going to say your right to defend yourself is criminal. He's got all the bodyguards in the world. His wife's a billionaire. His family's a bunch of scammers. His father-in-law is worth $28 billion. He's got private security. But see, the average person doesn't. So to counter that shirt, I couldn't figure out what to come up with. So then one of my old buddies, great Patriot veteran, he texted me this design, and it's even made right here in Austin, Texas by a Patriot-owned group called Pipe Hitters. Beto not. Yes, it's a pun. Better not. Beto not. It says it all. It's a simple message. It's got the AR-15 or the M4 variant. It's got the Texas or the Army star right there, and on the back, it's got a big, nice, square Infowars.com. Now, this is a limited edition shirt, just like the Betsy Ross shirt. And your purchase funds the operation. They're only $19.95, and they're being printed as we speak on this Friday while I'm shooting this. They'll be shipping out early next week. Again, made and printed right here in the USA, in Austin, Texas. You'll definitely want this Beto Not shirt. We have it in dark gray, light gray, and super light gray. It's almost white. They're all excellent. I'm also going to have them print up some that are in Army olive green. That'll get added to the shopping cart probably by the time you visit it, because that's the next thing I'm going to do. And this will help fund our First Amendment battle to defend the Second Amendment and all the other basic rights. So again, take action with the First Amendment and let these scumbags know. And let the collapsed California invasion force that's taken over Texas know that we're not backing down. But regardless of where you live, in the U.S. or outside of it, Beto is now a worldwide symbol of disarming the people.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15.
Just like Mao Zedong, Hitler, or Stalin. Mao Zedong said political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. That's why the UN says they only want governments to be armed, so they have a power monopoly. A power monopoly is called a dictatorship. Now, you just saw Beto say, hell yeah, I'm going to take your guns. But let's play Kamala Harris.
In recent days, former Vice President Biden has said about executive orders, some really talented people are seeking the nomination. They said, I'm going to issue an executive order. Biden saying there's no constitutional authority to issue that executive order when they say I'm going to eliminate assault weapons. Does the Vice President have a point there?
Well, I mean, I would just say, hey, Joe, instead of saying no, we can't, let's say yes, we can.
Let's be constitutional. We got a constitution.
And yes, we can.
They're calling Donald Trump a dictator all day, but they're the ones that are calling for overturning the courts and the Congress and making the president a dictatorship. Now we know why the founders had the Second Amendment. It's not just to stop criminals. It's not just to kill your dinner. It's to protect against tyranny. And that's why they try to take our firearms, ladies and gentlemen. 1776 will commence again. So be sure and get your Beto Not shirt. We've got it in all sizes, fits men and women. And again, it funds InfoWars while the globalists are trying to shut us down. A total 360 win. The only way you lose is not taking action. And you better believe, I'm so sick of seeing Beto stickers in Austin, Texas. I'm going to wear this sucker out there to trigger some libtards in a big way. Exercise your free speech in the face of these bullies, in the face of these tyrants. Get your Beto Not shirt at InfoWarsStore.com. A lot of shirts are coming out to counter him. I've seen them. This is heads above the rest. It's awesome. So get yours at InfoWarsStore.com today, or call toll free 24 hours a day, 888-253-3139. Get the Beto Not. Put your hands on our damn guns, you dirty scumbag. I'm Alex Jones for Infowars.com and NewsWars.com. Thanking you all for your support and telling you it's a real pleasure to fight alongside other fellow Americans for liberty. God bless you all. One more note, you little buck-toothed psychopath. I know you're stupid, but the controllers that pull your strings, they know what they're doing. They're trying to cause a civil war in this nation, dirtbag. That's why I'm putting you and your controllers on notice. You will be held accountable for what you're trying to do. How the media hypes up mass shootings, all the studies show, actually causes the mass shootings. You've got the blood on your filthy hands. And I know you instinctively want to dominate the American people, the only country you basically haven't disarmed, but you're going to fail. And we're going to expose big pharma that you and others are hooked into, whose own drugs, their so-called antidepressants, cause people to commit mass murder, and the inserts even say it, and almost every mass shooter is on it. So in between the media putting the idea out there and the drugs that turn people into these zombies, well, you get a few of these events you can then try to pin on us. You know what, mister? We're not buying your bull. And Texas sees right through you. Despite all the election fraud, you still lost because you're a loser. You're a puppet. And you have failed. And you will continue to fail because America is waking up to pieces of filth like you.
InfoWarsStore.com, ladies and gentlemen. We're joined by Frank Kavanaugh. When we get back, don't go anywhere. Well, you know what that means. It's time to check in on Shrimpzilla. There he is, still powering the entire InfoWars studio as he runs in the purified water. Only the purified water. In fact, he refuses to run if his water is not purified by the ProPure filters at InfoWarsStore.com. He refuses to run, and then the studio shuts down because we have no power. So there's Shrimpzilla, the famous shrimp, still running, powering the InfoWars studio, powered by Super Male Vitality from InfoWarsStore.com. And he's, like I said, he's pretty stubborn. He's kind of turned into a bit of a prima donna now, but he only runs in Alexa Pure or ProPure purified water. That's it. So he's so famous now as the fastest shrimp ever, breaking aquatic speeds, that he's a prima donna, and he requests only water purified by either the ProPure water filter or the Alexa Pure water filter at InfoWarsStore.com. And if you don't give him some Super Male Vitality every once in a while, he gets a little finicky. But he powers the whole studio. We're sustainable around here. So, InfoWarsStore.com, ladies and gentlemen. Now, my next guest, Frank Kavanaugh, always a pleasure to have on, and I know that he's a Second Amendment activist. Second Amendment activist in the sense that I know that he actively engages in his own Second Amendment rights, but he also has an announcement he's going to make, but we'll do that in the next segment with Frank Kavanaugh. Before we make that announcement, though, Frank, what do you make of the Democrats now taking the mask off? And they're saying, we're confiscating your guns, we're going to have buybacks, we're going to no more guns for you, only single shots. I mean, this is really revolutionary stuff that they called for last night. I don't think it sits very well with America. What do you think, Frank?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Beto. Finally. I mean, I know a lot of Democrats that have AR-15s, all right? You know, that what they're doing, it seems like the more that we go on in this campaign, they have to get more and more absurd. It's more and more clown world because they're just irrelevant. Beto's irrelevant. And so, but what we got to watch out for is now it's out there. Now it's out there, and they're just going to push. It's like what you guys were talking about earlier, how everyone thinks Trump's controversial. If you tell a lie loud enough and long enough, then people will start believing it. And that's what they've done. That's what they're trying to do to the American people. And they thought Beto would be, you know, Obama light. But Beto, he just politically, he's done. There's no way he was never going to be the nominee anyway. But when you're turning off half of your constituents that are Democrats that have guns, you're done. So it's good because now it's out in the open, and it's good because Beto's done now. There's no way he wasn't going to go forward anyway. But you know, I'm glad they did it. The mask is off. It's like, be what you are. You know, and with the Constitution thing, you know, it's like when Joe Biden says, hey, we need a Constitution, it's like Joe Biden's defending the Constitution.
It really is clown world. But think about this, because you actually nailed it. Beto is politically irrelevant. He always was politically irrelevant. I'd love to actually have a debate with some Beto supporter, just be like, you realize that statistically you're such a loser, it's not even funny supporting Beto. There's literally zero precedent for anybody in Beto's shoes to ever win. It's always a loss. But so he's already politically relevant. So it's almost as if he's making these crazy statements just to create some relevancy around him I don't know if he has some future aspirations that he's trying to stay relevant, making statements like, yeah, we're going to take the AR-15s and AK-47s. But you're right. Politically, as a Democrat candidate, he is irrelevant. So now, though, with the Democrats, with this clown world thing they're doing with all these debates, keeping real candidates like Gabbard off the debate stage and then irrelevant people like Beto on the stage, I mean, how much harm now is Beto doing to the Democrat Party? Totally irrelevant as a candidate, but now up here calling for confiscation of guns. I mean, he's basically stabbing the Democrat Party to death. It's like, where is the Democrat leadership trying to get some control over this thing? It's like this is a dumpster fire, and they're just watching it burn.
Well, think about the psyop that's going on here. We got to wait. We got to look out for the rope-a-dope. Sugar Ray Leonard, or was that Muhammad Ali? But looking like you're down, you have people like Beto that are turning everyone off. Now that we got to look out for someone that I've said months ago, there's going to be someone else that's going to come up and is going to try to run for president. That's going to try to take it from all these people because it's such a joke that,
I don't know though, Frank. I've thought that too, but I think it's too late now because if they really try to bring someone into the debate after these 3 debates that they've had and all of this funding, I mean, to me, that just puts a cap, like a dunce cap on the Democrat Party. Like, yeah, we're a joke. Because I feel like that'll just be offensive to their voters. Seriously, like, okay, well, we did all this and it was really for nothing.
Yeah, well, they do have a dunce hat on, but they've got to be panicking over there. They've got to be panicking. They know that the Americana is still Americana, and that's what America is. And you can try to change the culture as much as you want, try to shove, all your propaganda down the media tries to shove it down our throat. But Democrats are Americana too. And what they're doing with their whole platform, I was just talking to a banker today, just a regular guy who's a Democrat. And he was like, open borders, no guns, put the veterans to the back of the line, put the illegals to the front. Like, they're angering their own constituency. So if they don't come out with someone else or radically change their rhetoric, then we're there. We're there. Well, the whole thing with Google and YouTube and Facebook, though, that has to be addressed because I am a Second Amendment advocate because that's my weapon to defend myself. My First Amendment is my weapon as well. That's the most important weapon. I was a military paralegal in the Army, in the JAG Corps, and it's the pen and the sword. And that's what they've disarmed us already with the First Amendment. Now they want to do it with the Second Amendment, but they're going way too fast. And Hillary's not president, so it's not going to work.
Well, and speaking of that, we're about to go to a break here, but since you went down that road, I want to bring this up. So Beto tweets out his whole thing. We're going to take your AR-15. Briscoe Kane, a government official from Texas, says, my AR is ready for you, Robert Francis. No threat there. In fact, that could even be contrived to mean, oh, I'm ready to hand it in. But then Beto literally flags that as a death threat. Twitter makes Briscoe Kane take that tweet down, but Beto has the tweet still up on his own account. I mean, this is so clown world. This same thing happened to me where a bunch of people say, here's Schroyer calling for Obama to be lynched, which I didn't actually say, and I never put it on Twitter. They all put it on Twitter, and then I got suspended. I mean, this is beyond clown world now.
It's totally... It's so absurd what they've been doing that they just have to keep on with the absurdity. And it's going to just get more and more absurd. It's like when you tell a lie and you get caught in it, you have to tell all these other lies. If you never lie, you don't have to remember anything. And now that their whole platform is a lie and it's absurd, and since it's not really working, they have to get more and more and more absurd.
Yeah, guys, pull up the tweet from Beto. So seriously, this is like an enigma wrapped in a riddle here. Beto complains about a death threat tweet, and then he literally puts that tweet on his own Twitter. The original tweet's removed, but Beto still has the tweet on his own Twitter. Just the other day, we had a guest on talking about how important it is right now. There's a window of opportunity to get involved in local politics, positions that might seem trivial or small or that you've never heard of, but can still have an influence and can have an impact at a local level. And so Frank Kavanaugh is actually engaging in that adventure right now. Frank, tell the audience about what you're doing at a local level to get involved politically.
And after I left the Army, I moved back. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I moved to the far east side of Cleveland, Ohio, actually in Geauga County, to a place called Newberry, where my family has had a farm just south in Auburn for 100 years. And my grandfather used to own land here. And I bought a small little place, and I was like, I'm just going to, farm and grow stuff and live here forever and die, basically, and just live peacefully. And what happened to me with getting censored with the whole and the almost stolen valor with filter, and then what's happening to all of us inspired getting censored, inspired me to make Full Metal MAGA. And then I'm like, hey, you know what? I need to look into what's going on in my town. I live in Newberry, Ohio. And so I decided to run for trustee this year, coming up on November 5th. I'm running for trustee in Newberry. If any of you listeners out there know anybody in Newberry, Ohio, tell them to vote for me. But basically what's been happening in Newberry is you have the old school establishment that has been in office for 20 plus years. And no matter what, if you're in something for that long, it gets very easy for you to do it. And people are asleep at the wheel. And just like people were asleep at the wheel in Washington and the swamp developed, that's what's happened locally where I live. And all politics is local. So even if I don't win, it's been an incredible adventure because it's forced me to go out and meet even more of my neighbors that I've never met before. And just by doing that, just by getting involved in the political process, I've already won. And people know that there's now a voice that is not establishment, that's for them. And all it takes for any of you out there to do it is just do anything you want to do, not politics or music, anything. Just do one thing every day towards your goal and you'll get it. And that's what I'm doing. And hopefully I win. I want to take Newberry into the 21st century where we're friendly to businesses. We're also conscious that we live in a rural community. A lot of us moved out to this community because of the farms and the park-like atmosphere. I actually live right across the street from a state park. And so we want to keep it like that. But the most important thing is there needs to be transparency. So my whole campaign is going to be on Facebook if it doesn't get censored. And I'm going to let the people know basically everything that goes on in the township, because now there's a stranglehold on information locally because these guys have been in power for so long. And it's emblematic of what's going on in the world politically. If you do not get involved on a local level, how can you complain about what's going on in Washington, D.C.? You can't. And it is so easy to get involved. If you're a Democrat or a Republican, you can join the central committee in your county, and I bet you there's open seats where you live, where people don't even want to do it. Because
that's what I'm saying. See, and Frank, that's what I'm saying. I don't mean to cut you off, but people need to realize, I understand not everybody can, do a reporter, work at InfoWars, do a YouTube stream, whatever. There's so many different avenues out there. I mean, I'm not even acting like an expert here. I just know that that's the case. Like you said, you're going to run for this position in your local county. Run for school board. Go speak out on the city council. Go start a petition. Go door to door with an issue. I mean, just doing anything locally to get involved and to get people to know that, hey, you're out there. And maybe you are a Trump supporter. Maybe you're the first Trump supporter somebody ever met. And they're like, I never thought a Trump supporter would be such a nice person. Like Marianne Williamson said, like, wow, I'm surprised conservatives treat me nicer than liberals. It's like, yeah, I mean, you pretty much figure that out immediately once you meet a conservative. So Frank, it's just, there seems to be, I'm not even blaming anybody. It's just, there's this weird narrow-minded, narrow vision when it comes to political action where it's like either you're doing something on social media or in media, or you just can't do anything at all. When there's all kinds of things that you can do. There's all kinds of ways to resist. I mean, look at mass resistance. There's one in Texas. They do all kinds of stuff, just boots on the ground. I love what Tracy Shannon does. Quite frankly, their media outreach is weak, but it doesn't matter. They're effective. They're boots on the ground. They're covering drag queen story time. They're getting things shut down. So that's what I'm saying, Frank. Just taking any sort of action can then open up avenues that you never thought were there.
We were raised in a society. America is great because of capitalism, and there's so much opportunity here. But everyone knows about Madison Avenue and K Street in Washington, D.C. And we've been conditioned to be insecure about ourselves. We don't have the good enough car. We don't, you're not wearing the same shirt I'm wearing or whatever. And so that's all done for a purpose, because they want us to be isolated in ourselves and not be free thinkers and free humanity. And to break the chain, all you have to do is one thing a day. And if you do one thing a day, that's the war. That's the war.
One thing a day. I mean, one thing a day is like champion level. If you just start one thing a month, one thing a year, honestly, if everybody just did one thing a year, come on, Frank, let's not put too much pressure on the people here. Here's what I want to do, though. Guys, let's open up the phone lines. Here's the deal. I didn't take as many phone calls as I'd like this week. I've been kind of a Tasmanian devil here, and I know people like talking to Frank, too. So we're going to take a couple phone calls in the last segment. I'm sorry that I do this with only 10 minutes to take calls. But the good news is Alex Jones is going to be back in studio tomorrow from 2 to 4 with the caller-hosted show he's been talking about so much. So that's going to be happening. But, guys, 888-201-2244. In the next segment, we'll squeeze in a couple calls with myself and Frank. 888-201-2244. But before we do that, Frank, a couple news stories that I wanted to just run by you here. Sam Smith, I'm sure you've heard of him, famous musician, actually really talented musician. I enjoy his music, but his politics and his, I guess you could say, gender identity are insane. He's now declared his pronouns are they/them. Of course, that's in the English grammar, that's just quite frankly incorrect. But in this liberal indoctrination, that's somehow true. And so people are on there responding like, oh, we're so proud of you. Oh, he's so brave to do this. And literally they're like, you can't say he. He's they, them. Don't say you, bigot. He says, and it's like, this is the confusion, Frank. I mean, they're confusing humanity. They're confusing language.
It is, can my pronouns be me and mine? It's me and mine, dude. No, that's another way that we can resist them, is through the humor of the absurdity, and just be like, you have to call them thee or them, and look at how you guys are just eating each other. The left is eating itself, which is very sad, but it's very kind of funny at the same time to watch them do that. My whole concern is that it's just more conditioning to the absurdia, where people are not living in reality, and people are going to start doing things in desperation. And that's the scary thing. They've been conditioning us in society forever to accept certain things, and now they're conditioning us to accept the absurd. So what is about to happen? Why are they doing all this social engineering, where they know that it's absurd? They know that what they're doing, the people who are doing this up on top are sitting there laughing at the useless eaters down there fighting over, you can't call them he, you have to call them them. But why?
Well, excuse me, but I would like to make an official announcement right now. My pronouns are now hippopotamus and banana ram. So if you don't refer to me as hippopotamus or banana ram, you are a bigot. You're a bigot. So if you call into the show and you don't call me hippopotamus banana ram, you're gonna be hung up on immediately. Sam Smith has just misgendered himself. How dare you, Sam Smith? It's not me, Sam. It's they/them. So Sam Smith now has to rewrite all of his albums, and every time he says me, he has to say they. So it's won't you stay with them? Of course, that makes no sense. These people are a joke. Oh, but by the way, all right, get it off. This is actually reaching the medical industry. I'm not even kidding you. This is from the Wall Street Journal today. Take 2 aspirin and call me by my pronouns. It highlights in the story how the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry is now literally engaging in social justice warrior activities when they're prescribing pills and stuff. and they don't even care about medicine anymore. Won't you stay with them? I like the remix. Stay with they. The song doesn't make any more sense, but I'm confused in my own skin. All right. Final thing with Frank Kavanaugh, and then we're going to take some calls. Frank, I've been talking about this. I don't really hear anyone else talking about this, really, besides InfoWars, and who have said this in so many words, but a couple headlines today. AI synthetic brains will allow humans to be in 500 places at once. Well, we really kind of already have that ability with the TV and the internet. It's just not physically manifested. It's all an illusion. It's magic, really. It's like reverse engineering God's omnipotence. And then the second one, will your uploaded mind still be you? That's the key. Frank, I don't know about you, but I don't want to live on this planet forever. I want to move on to the next level with God. That's what this is all about. They want to trap you here on Earth, and they'll say, oh, don't worry, you upload your consciousness to a machine, you'll live forever. No, you'll finally die. You already are living forever. This is death. This is ultimate death to me, Frank.
What Ray Kurzweil and all the transhumanists don't understand is that we are in an Earth suit, and we're all trapped in animal bodies. Really, we're mammals, and everything that we do is guided by our passions. When you wake up in the morning, you're probably going to use the bathroom. Pretty much all of us, because our body's telling us to do that. So if
excuse me. You just called me you. It's hippopotamus banana ram. Can you believe this guy?
Mr. Banana Ram. I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's Mr. Banana Ram to you. All right. Hey, Frank, let's take some phone calls here. Let's go to Jeff in Canada. You're on the air with Frank Kavanaugh. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Hippo B, how's it going?
Thank you for calling me by my proper pronoun.
You bet. Hey, just thinking, it seems like the Clintons run the Democratic Party, the Clinton machine. What do you guys think about Hillary inserting herself as VP once the nomination is secured?
I don't like it. I think Hillary's politically dead and cannon fodder. I don't think they want her anymore. What do you think, Frank?
No, that would be horrible. First of all, just to imagine that is terrifying. But I really don't think that Hillary would bring anyone any votes right now.
Yeah, the only thing about Hillary is she has a gigantic war chest that she can't really use unless she runs for office. So that's the only kind of side issue there. Anything else, Jeff?
If it was me and I won the nomination, I'd be buying some Kevlar or hazmat suits.
Well, yeah, we got we've got emergency food at InfoWarsStore.com, but yeah, you hope it doesn't. You hope you don't need it, but it's reaching that point. It's crazy out there, Frank. All right, let's squeeze in another call. Jefferson in Virginia. Go ahead, Jefferson.
Happy Friday, guys. I think it's likely that the way they want to confiscate the weapons is to basically use the social credit score on you and shut your banking down unless you comply and accept the money they want to offer for the guns.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Frank, I think it goes another level, too, where they'll have the police or the military or whatever, they'll give them the order to go confiscate the weapons. And if they don't do it, their social credit score goes to zero.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they're going to be, all these dystopian shows. I'm watching this one, The 100, where if you commit a crime, they just kill you, and that's what they're going to do. And first of all, I want to call you Potamus B from now on. That's your name.
Thank you.
For me,
Thank you.
Just because that's I like that. It sounds better.
That's okay. That's short for hippopotamus banana ram. That's okay.
Yes, Mr. Banana Ram. If I have your permission to do that. What they did in China, they want to bring here, and this election is the most important of our lives, because if they take over again, which they're very close, people are so brainwashed. It's amazing to me that I go and talk to my friends that I've known for 20 years, and they actually believe all this stuff. And I'm like, it's a cult. Look what they did to Miss America. They kicked her out. It's if you're the Amish, you leave the Amish, they shun you. And that's what the left is doing. And it's exactly what they did to the Jews.
Frank, I talked about that today. It's like, seriously, it's like the television is people's reality. Like, it doesn't even matter if it doesn't make sense or it's impossible, but if the TV says it, they believe it.
That's why it's so important for all of us who are awoke, basically. We're Roddy Pipers right now. And that's why I love running for politics right now, because I'm going on and I'm meeting my neighbors and I can plant that seed. And they're like, there's someone else like me. I thought I was alone. There's more of us than them. There's way far more of us than them. They've just conditioned us not to believe in ourselves.
And they've beaten us down and chilled our free speech so we don't even talk to one another anymore. Exactly. All right, let's get one more call in from John. I think it's friends, actually. He says he knows you, Frank. Go ahead, John.
Hey, how's it going, Owen? The hungry hippopotamus, that's what it is. So I'm going to be the first one to throw a slang your way. Owen, the hippopotamus, eating up all them lies and spitting out the truth. How's that, brother?
Well, the crew, I'm such a big fan of Cardi B and her fake boobs and butt and just overall fraud that she is. Such a great musician, though. I mean, really talented, all the instruments she plays, like her ass clap. But, I mean, they want to call me Potty B.
I call you what you are, man, an American patriot. And as for Frank Kavanaugh, brother, I love you, man. This is John, the drummer for Eben Cross. And that door's still open for you to come jam bass with us, bro, whenever you want.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm going to get back to you, bro, because I want to have you guys on Full Metal MAGA. So I'm sorry I haven't done it yet. Right on, man. Thank you so much.
Dude, we're right behind you 1,000,000%. We're rocking right alongside with you. We're actually having a big event tomorrow, supporting all the Benghazi guys that were forgotten out in Orlando. All American patriots are welcome to come out and see Eben Cross rock the stage.
Wait a second. Where is this event, John?
It's going to be at the Orlando Airport in Orlando, Florida. It's the second one that we did for Chris Tonto Peranto. And our album, our second album is coming up. It's going to be called Lock Her Up. And our first album is all inspired through InfoWars. You guys got to look up Eben Cross and the song Eagle, man. You'll see it's all dedicated towards 9/11. And that man right there on the right-hand side of the screen, Frank Kavanaugh, he is the man. That's all I got to say. And you too, Owen. Oh, we're going to have you do some vocals after we've been seeing you do them vocals on those commercials. How's that sound, Owen?
Yes.
Did you see? Hey, thank you so much, John. What was the name of the band one more time?
It's Eben Cross, EBONCROSS, and the song is Eagle. And we're all American patriots, rocking right alongside you guys.
Did you see my vocal sample, Frank?
I've not seen it. I can't believe I missed it.
Do we have it, guys? Can we roll it for him? Do we have it ready to go? All right. Check it out, Frank. As we go to break here, check out my vocals.
InfoWars presents Real Stable Genius.
Real Stable Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Fake News Anchorman.
Mr. Fake News Anchorman.
Night after night, you robotically read off a teleprompter words written by someone else.
I thank my writer.
When it comes out what you reported was fake, you feel no guilt. After all, you were just doing your job.
It's not my fault.
Less and less tune in every night, but that won't hurt your ego because you're on television.
Look at me.
So crack open an ice-cold cuck light, Mr. Fake News Anchorman, because despite the fancy suit and big salary, we know you're just a puppet.
What the hell did I just read?
Cuck light, InfoWarsStore.com.
Do I have it, Frank? Do I have the talent?
We'll put you a little auto-tune on there, and we can do anything. And I know you got a growl too, man. I know you got a growl.
I know that's my real talent. I won't display it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That you need
Frank
to make
Kavanaugh,
more.
Full Metal MAGA. Thank you. You stay classy, Info Warriors.
Ultra 12 is already our overall #1 bestseller. Ultra 12 is twice as strong as Secret 12 for an even lower price because I signed a huge multi-year contract to guarantee to buy a ton of it. And my bet ended up to be successful so far. folks are ordering it in mass. They're getting great responses. They're giving us incredible reviews because we know what vitamin B12 of this type does, taken under the tongue, where it's more absorbable. It supports healthy nerve and brain cells, helps make DNA, help the body produce more energy, help produce healthy blood cells, essential for proper nervous system function, and so much more. You can take all the energy drinks and they won't do anything if you don't have the basics already in your body, like vitamin B12. Whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you live in Japan or the United States, Ultra 12 is the best vitamin B12 you're going to find out there. It's uber absorbable, and it's 50% off right now at InfoWarsLife.com.
Okay, hold on. There's more. Hold on, there's more.
Wow. Well, look, apparently Beto needs 4 different nonstick pans to cook his miniature burgers or whatever that was he put on an English muffin with 2 pieces of broccoli. I've never seen anything quite like it, but it is kind of weird. It's like an alien trying to convince you that they're human, everything that Beto's been up to. But, you know, I think that the problem that Beto is having now is he's eating all these burgers, and it's causing indigestion and flatulation. And so I'm just here to offer Beto a solution. Apparently, he's been flatulating more than the average cow. That's causing global warming because he hasn't been taking his carnivore from InfoWarsStore.com. So you may not know this, but when you eat red meat, sometimes it doesn't always digest properly. This can lead to indigestion. This can lead to flatulation. This can lead to other issues with digestion. And so we offer the probiotic carnivore. And I'm not even kidding you. I mean, I eat cheeseburgers a lot, probably too much. In fact, I'm trying to consciously cut back. But when I do take the carnivore before I do with the digestive enzymes in there to help you properly digest red meat and high-protein foods. But Beto, he didn't get the memo, and so he's walking around campaigning after he eats a cheeseburger on an English muffin with a piece of broccoli, and he's flatulating more than a cow. But you gotta give it to Beto. It's courageous to eat that much red meat and walk around farting all day. But we're telling him carnivore from InfoWarsStore.com. It's got the probiotics. It's got the enzymes to help you digest those burgers, Beto. So whether Beto wants to put his burger on an English muffin or whatever he wants to do, he better take his carnivore before he does it.